Am I the only one trying to squeeze out every single second from the tools that I use daily to save a few seconds? Most people don't even know the existence of a clipboard manager, a tool that keeps a history of the things that you copy. Meanwhile, there are startups out there worth billions of dollars just because they have simply identified and addressed a small but persistent pain point in people's life. People underestimate speed when it comes to increasing their productivity. Trying to optimize something, I always start with recurrent things or actions that I do repeatedly. That's where you can find the biggest opportunity for improvement, as you can save a lot of time and effort and it will compound. Things that slows me down when performing my job is that the process of putting into words my ideas was too slow. Why? Simply because I couldn't write fast enough and end up spending all my time correcting all my typos and mistakes that I made while typing. Writing on a keyboard is something that you do daily, and not being able to write fast enough will just compound over time. Not only you lose some precious time, but also your ideas might get lost on the fly while slowly typing. You end up being so distracted and losing focus. For programmers like me, it's even worse because not only do I have to type normal characters, but also special characters, and at the same time manipulate lots of lines of code. So I know that I have to master at some point keyboard shortcuts. Of course, it's not unique to programmers, but you get my point. One thing that really bothers me is the usage of the arrow keys on the keyboard. Those keys are really far away from my fingers and I tend to look down when typing. So instead, I found a software on Mac called Carabiner Elements that allows me to customize a little bit my keyboard. Because I use the touch typing method to type on my keyboard, it's just way faster for me to replace the arrow keys altogether with a combination of the key Control, IGKL, or up, left, down, right. Both my index fingers don't have to go far away from the home key that are F and J. And because using the arrow keys was so annoying that I decided to find a tool to fix my specific problem, even though it was really niche. Also, I only use the trackpad of my MacBook instead of using a separate computer mouse. Again, because my keyboard keys are closer to the trackpad rather than having a separate computer mouse. So I was wondering, if I could customize my keyboard, why not my trackpad as well? There must be someone out there having the same issue and trying to find a way to fix that and create a tool for that. So for Mac users, I come across a tool called Better Touch tool that allows you to customize pretty much everything on your computer, including your keyboard, mouse, and also trackpad. For example, you can maximize the current window application just by tapping on the trackpad with 3 fingers. Or you can move a window application to a different monitor just by swiping up with 4 fingers. The sky's the limit. You can customize pretty much everything. At one point, I even bought a new MacBook Pro and maxed out the specs just because I wanted a faster computer. It was way back when Apple was still on Intel processors, so I kind of regret my purchase, but at that time I really saved a lot of time just by having a faster computer. My point is, if you don't feel any pain, then you won't try to find a solution. Sounds obvious, right? Well, a lot of people have actually daily pain, but they just decided to discard it. Tools are not perfect and they have their own limitation, but trying to make your experience even a little bit better using those tools will increase your productivity but also decrease your stress level. A lot of people just decide to ignore those tiny but recurrent pain points that slow them down because they are just tiny problems, right? You don't have to fix them. So if your pain tolerance level is low, then you won't try to find a creative way to fix a tiny but recurrent problem. You might even come with your own solution if you try to be creative to fix those issues. I'm pretty sure that you have already seen some people moving data between windows and they just move things around 100 times again and again and not coming up with some creative solution. Or some people trying to delete a word from a document using the backspace as many times as there are letters instead of just using command backspace. It's not a big deal when you do it one time, but imagine when you have to do that 1,000 times every single day, how much time you just end up wasting. But here's the thing, most people don't even question themselves whether those tedious and repetitive tasks can be done faster and in a more efficient way. Because I was so annoyed having to switch between different app application windows to copy-paste thing that I come up with the idea to find a clipboard manager. Almost every single tiny but recurrent pain point has a solution somewhere on Google. And that also applies to everything in your workflow when you can come up with a creative idea to automate or make things faster. I still see some people trying to select a word by dragging the cursor from the beginning of the letter to the end instead of just double clicking on the word to select the entire word. You know, it's just small thing that. Meanwhile, there are startups out there worth billions of dollars just because they were trying to fix a simple but recurrent problem in people's life. One example of such a startup is Grammarly. How many people make typos in English when typing emails or documents? Grammarly is worth more than $1 billion just fixing typos and mistakes when typing. Another example is Zapier. It's also a startup worth billions of dollars. Zapier is just an online automation tool that connects different web apps that allows users to automate repetitive tasks. For example, if you receive an email with attached files, then you can automatically set up a Zap so that it can automatically save in your Google Drive or Dropbox. That's my point. Those startups identify simple but recurrent pain points that people have on a daily basis. And they're worth billions of dollars. There's nothing too much of a niche. So the next time when you face a tiny but recurrent problem, just Google for a solution. And if you cannot find a solution, maybe you can try to come up with a solution yourself or ask around. So that's what most startups are. Just trying to find a tiny but recurrent problem and come up with a solution. And then it scales. Just be open and curious and eager to explore. If you want to learn more about how building a good habit can lead to build others over time like a snowball, then watch this video here. Like the video if you find it useful, hit the subscribe button, but also the bell notification for a new weekly video release. Follow me on Instagram for bite-sized short videos on the behind the scene of building a startup as a solo and foreign founder in Japan. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one. Bye.